Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Hebrews. I think this would be episode 2, if I'm not mistaken. So, sorry for not being very regular, but glad I could find the time today. So, it is the beginning of Easter week, Palm Sunday, and we were at church this morning and were blessed by a very nice sermon that went into the history of Israel between 500 BC and the coming of Jesus, and what their expectations were for a Messiah, someone who would free them from Rome, and what Christ actually did, not just for Judea, but for the whole world, which is to free them from sin and death. So just very grateful for the Lord and what He's done. But anyway, today I wanted to share with you guys a little bit about 3D printing and coffee. And the way this came about is sort of an interesting journey. So I'm sure you're all, if you're watching this, you're all familiar with the WDT technique, the Weiss distribution technique. You grind your beans in a catch cup like this. As you can see, I have about 18 grams in here. We'll get to that in a second. And you take your portafilter and you put a dosing funnel on it because you don't want to make a mess. And then you put everything in, and then you use these needles to basically break up any clumps, right? And you start at the bottom and you slowly make your way up and until the end where you're just kind of raking the surface. And that helps just have a more even extraction. So anyway, I used this for the longest time. And then as many espresso enthusiasts end up finding out, you can actually 3D print a lot of cool espresso accessories. So you might be familiar with the Weber Workshop's Moonraker, which is essentially a WDT tool that sits on top of your portafilter, and then it has these planetary gears. So it's not concentric, right? Concentric needles generally leave kind of like a volcano or like an inverted volcano like impression on your coffee bed. You don't want that. So these planetary needles actually make sure that the needles go in a spirographic fashion. And this is actually 3D printed. So the middle is one part, then the top that rotates is another, the handle is another, all these gears. Then you see it has magnets in here so that it hugs the portafilter nicely. And then it has these brushes for storage to make sure that the needles don't get damaged, because how else are you going to store something like that? And then I found another espresso enthusiast actually based out of BC, Canada, near the Vancouver area, who had taken this concept further and put a little motor in here together with a battery so that when you press this button, you actually have a automatic Weber Workshops Moonraker alternative. And the pattern is pretty common. It's called a Umikot, Umikot, and you can find it on any website that hosts 3D printable models. So anyway, I think these tools are pretty cool because they help you get consistent results back to back to back, especially in the morning when you don't necessarily have great precision with a manual 9 needle tool. And then, it was only a matter of time before I was like, oh, I really want a 3D printer. So thanks be to God that we were recently blessed to have a 3D printer. And we've done some cool projects so far and many more to come, just little things around the house. I'll try to put some on the screen here for you to look at. There's a faucet extension. There's a kitchen sink splash guard. There's a kitchen cupboard organizer, etc. So anyway, just want to end this video with a quick demonstration. And which one will I pick? Maybe I will pick this automatic one. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so I already have coffee in here. Do this, and just give me a second. Let me make sure I'm catching. Okay, sorry, I ended the video accidentally. So resuming here again, right where we left off. Here I have 18 grams. Okay. So you can see it's a rather uneven mound with quite a lot of clumps, right? So then the workflow would be you take this, you put it on like so, and you hold this button on the side. Usually 8 turns is good. You can go up to 10 if you want. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, give it a tap. Lift this up straight. You want to lift it straight. And then lastly, we can give it 1 or 2 more taps here. And then you can see that is a very even bed of coffee, nicely distributed, ready to tamp and pull a great shot. So anyway, just a little bit of a journey of the WD-T tools in our house and how eventually we got into 3D printed coffee parts and how now we're blessed to be able to 3D print ourselves. So I'll end this one here. Thanks again for hanging out, and I hope you have a blessed Easter week with Good Friday and then Easter Sunday coming up. So take care and see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.